Like Granit Xhaka situation where he got booed coming off.
Exactly.
It's an awful situation for anybody.
Yeah, it's very hard for everyone, because imagine you are in this situation that you want to do things totally different, and the result does not happen as you expect.
Sorry, I'd just like to say we're in Gilberto's house in London. His wife just almost smashed the plate, so that's why I started laughing.
We're trying to be serious, but
you're trying to be serious, and she's making salad, playing cymbals with the saucepans.
Okay. Hello everyone, this is my podcast, the first episode of it, and I hope you enjoy it. It's at the beginning it sounds a little bit strange for me because my first time, but I hope along the way we can get into it, bring you some nice message about football. Of course, maybe we can find something else, but also for this first day is amazing because I have a very special guest, a friend of mine, Tim, is here.
Hello.
And Tim's a big friend of mine. I'm going to introduce him.
Thank you, sir.
About it,
Yeah. So me and Gilbert have known each other for maybe 4 years now. We met at an event in Manchester where we probably shouldn't say what we did, but we drank too much wine was basically what happened.
Yeah, let's see. I hope we don't mess that out too much.
No, exactly. Well, I can see your wife is looking at me, so maybe we should start talking about that.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll behave.
Exactly.
Not gonna throw anything in our head now.
No, exactly that. So we made a bet. It was Soccerex. Didn't we? We just got on quite well, stayed in touch, and we've been looking for something to do sort of together, footballing wise. Or I run a company called True Challenge, which is like a tech startup for sports, and we've been looking at ways stuff to do. And then you were telling me the story about why proper Ronaldo had that dodgy haircut in the 2002 World Cup final.
Yeah.
And we kind of said, well, this is probably what we should be doing.
Yeah.
You basically telling stories about what happened. So we decided to put together a podcast, and this is the first episode.
It's good because sometime I was feeling a bit weird of doing some video, and as you've been talk a lot the last few years, you can say that, about doing something together. Why not try now? Yep. And take the opportunity of at the moment I'm living in London. It's much easier for us to do things, meet up and set up things.
Yeah.
And right away,
do a podcast when you're in Brazil.
Let's see. And we can have like a general conversation about English football, about Arsenal, about Brazil, and the nice haircut from Ronaldo.
There we go.
It's a few stories,
Spoiler alert. So it's going to be different every week, but the rough idea for this podcast will be news, then a review of the football and what's been happening in the world of football. We're then going to have a challenge where we're going to predict the scores for next week, and maybe there's a consequence for the loser.
Well, this is going to be a big challenge for me because he wants to beat me up. He wants me to lose and pay something for him or whatever. Pay some, I don't know. Let's wait to see what he have in mind.
Well, we were talking about access to social media for an hour, so we'll see how that goes. Then we're also going to have a fans part of the show, so fans can tweet us questions about what they want me to ask this bloke. Obviously, I'll have to filter them out a little bit because there's some questions I won't be allowed to ask him, or he won't flat out refuse to answer, rightfully so for legal reasons. And that's the base of the running order. So that's what we plan to do every week. It's completely fluid because Gilberto and I really follow the rules.
I hope so.
Exactly.
I hope we don't have like a hard question.
I don't think so.
But it's alright, It's alright. I think the idea of the podcast is just to bring to people, to the audience, what I think about football, what I give my opinion about some things, but on a very positive way. I think this is the way I have been all my life in football, and I don't want to change. Just keeping the things I believe is right to do, and I hope we have some fun as well.
Yeah. Well, I think the important thing is you don't like being told what to do.
No.
That's it. That's why you're doing your own podcast. You don't like being told what to do. So, on to this week. Big news in the last few days of football, last week or so of football, was Pochettino being sacked by Spurs.
Yes.
What do you know about Mourinho? That's who replaced him. It's a bit of a slip. What do you know about Pochettino? What do you know him? Have you met him before? Do you know much about him?
No, I haven't met him before. Just follow him what he's doing basically at Tottenham, and I think he stayed a little bit more than 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's 5.5
in charge. Seems has done a great job. I was quite surprised, honestly, of him being sacked on the break of the international week, and of course, has not been a very good start for them. Because
14th when he got sacked, weren't they?
Yeah, the position they are on the table, and I was not expecting. I think it was a big surprise for many people. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a big surprise. Big surprise when it came through. I was in the office and it kind of came through, and yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I think he maybe lost the dressing room, but I don't even. Is that even a thing? Do players? Can people lose the dressing room? Do coaches lose the dressing room? Is that something that happens?
There's a lot of talk about it, that he has lost the dressing room. But the reality, my opinion, is that we never know exactly what's going on. And after being there for almost 6 years, and I think they faced a very hard time when they were building the stadium, playing at Wembley, which was not their home properly, and then starting this season in the new stadium. It's totally different now, but the circumstance he had to, let's say, being play away and hold the squad and achieve good result was superb. And now I was expecting, I think maybe many people was expecting him to last a little bit longer. He got sacked, and
I mean, because I think last year he got hardly any budget to play with. He got no player, didn't buy any new players, so I think it almost became. Levy is obviously traditionally quite hard to work with, and if you have a boss like that I think maybe all of us, everyone in the world has had a boss like that who tries to get the best out of you, but then when you achieve it overcome all the adversities and actually do a good job of it, you go, see, you can do it, so why should I give you any more budget next year? So with no budget he got to the Champions League final, so then he'd kind of feel like he didn't get support. But I think, well, you know better than me, but I think it does seem a bit harsh to let him go that soon, but then it's hard to know what's going on behind the scenes, and we never really know.
Yeah, this is true. We never know. Of course, there was a lot of talk about he has lost the dressing room, whatever. Maybe a little bit. Sometimes they talk about the budget, whatever. But whatever we say, I never know exactly what's going on. And if Tottenham feel that was the time for them to change the direction of the management, the coach staff, the style or whatever, try to find something, and let's see what's going to happen next, because sometimes it can work out very good, but not always work. But let's see. Let's see what's going to happen.
Well, so it's interesting because obviously he got quite close bond with the players, who ultimately didn't perform from the end, which is ultimately why he got sacked. But a lot of the senior players went to his house. I think I read Harry Kane went to his house the next day for 2 hours, and they had a long conversation about stuff. So you're like, well, if that's how much he means to you, surely maybe you should be given a little bit more on the pitch that doesn't put him in that position. But then again, I'm not a professional footballer, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, I believe that he built up a strong bond with the players and everyone in the club. Looking from outside, he seems a very genuine person, and as a manager, he did a great job, in my opinion. And that's why a lot of conversation around about Madrid to sign him, other clubs, and because what he has done, not only at Tottenham, but before he joined the club.
Southampton.
Exactly. I think he has he built up a very good reputation, good profile, because he showed this in the team he managed. And let's see what comes next to him, But my side, for myself, I wish him best of luck, because when you see somebody doing a great job, we don't want them to stay away.
We know when it's keeping the Premier League, don't we?
Well, you never know. It's possible.
Where do you think he's going to go? If you had to put a bet, your own money, where do you think he's going to go next?
It's a good question. There's a lot of talk. I had to be quiet a little bit.
Oh, you know a bit more than you can have to say. Okay, we'll take the microphone off.
That's all right. No, that's okay. But Of course, once he has been sacked from Tottenham, start conversation about, for example, last year they talk about Manchester United to get him more or less at this time of the year, but Tottenham want to keep him. They kept him. And
they fought really hard to keep him, because Real Madrid as well, they were talking about him, because Zidane left, didn't he?
Yeah, but then they talk about Madrid, and now, and start again, the conversation. I've seen something on the internet about Arsenal, I've seen something on the internet about Manchester United, and also Real Madrid, and three big clubs. People point that they could go for him, but I never know, maybe he wants to have a break after these few years in charge, and but I never know.
Well, he probably signed a contract when he gets his payoff that he can't play, signed to the end of the beginning of next season anyway, or the end of the season anyway, right?
Yeah, it's possible. This is what normally, as we have seen some clubs does when they break up with some coach, just to give them, okay, we break up, but for this first month, I don't want to see maybe with my main rival.
Yeah, no.
It can work. You never know. This is one situation that happens a lot with the players, for example, when they go loan from one club to another, and normally the clubs, many clubs put a clause that they are not allowed to play against them.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, I'm a Chelsea fan, so I know how many players they've got out on loan. So they don't think they'll be able to play half the Premier League. Be able to play
Exactly. I think for the club they just do the same thing, just protect themselves.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do, isn't it? But yeah. So do you think Poch would ever go? Would the Arsenal fans ever take to Poch if he went to Arsenal? I'm not saying that you know whether he's going to Arsenal or not.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm asking you. But if he did go to Arsenal, hypothetically, do you think it would ever be a situation where he'll go to Arsenal?
I think if something like this happened, people, I believe, would respect. Maybe some people, not think the right idea to appoint him right now until they decide what to do with the management. And but because he has done a great job, I've seen the other day Martin Keown talk about him. It could be a good idea, but I think First of all, I think especially for Arsenal, I'm always positive when I need to talk about Arsenal. It's just for them not make any decision because they are desperate of make change or something like that. Just be very careful, very wise and what they have to do in the next step. But obviously, maybe some people agree or not if they appointed him, if they thinking about him, But we never have the 100% support. It's very difficult to have that.
Is it different? Do you think it's different from players to go? So obviously, Figo went from, Zidane went, not Zidane.
Oh, we have seen Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo went from Barca
Figo
to
as well.
Yeah,
Barcelona,
that's what I was trying to think of first place. Yes. So obviously, the players get awful abuse for it. Do you think it's the same for coaches?
Well, it can be a nightmare because you go to your
Sol Campbell. Obviously, Sol Campbell's the worst one during his team.
Exactly. Sol Campbell had the same situation, and it can, of course, it can be hard, at the beginning, but you have to be professional first of all, because when you are professional, you respect the environment you were before, and then respect the environment you are going in. It's not because you change, you lose respect, but for the fans' point of view, it seems like they are betrayed them.
Yeah.
Sometimes hard, to measure all these situations.
Yeah, because obviously fans, we know, I'm obviously a fan. I go and watch football as often as I can. You guys, the players it's their job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's their job to go to do these things. They might obviously they don't want to lose. They desperately hard want to win, but they don't have the passion of the 5 generations of parents taking them to football and things.
Exactly.
And I think that's the ultimate difference, isn't it? And I think fans, it's hard to say. If you were, like we said with Sol Campbell, who was an amazing player for the Spurs, and they went to the worst team they could possibly think of.
Sometimes
and start winning trophies.
But I think sometimes people need a new challenge, especially in football. either as a player, either as a manager. Obviously, you have seen some examples that a few players last, very, very long in the club, which for me is fantastic. I don't see any problem of that. But if the player need a challenge sometime, they have to go for it. It's like a manager, and I don't think we are going to see any manager last longer in the football as Alex Ferguson and Arsene anymore.
No.
Not that long. Maybe they last 5, 6 years. Maybe can reach them, but I don't know that longer. I think same I believe for the players.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a few examples they last long in a football club, but I don't think nowadays it's going to be easy to keep them.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe Arsenal at the other end of the spectrum, so where you've got Chelsea who sack their managers quite regularly and quite quickly, and it's actually great to see Frank Lampard doing so well with Chelsea because he's obviously a Chelsea legend. He's bringing the youth team forwards. It's actually quite hard not to like Chelsea at the moment. And then you have you have a manager or a chairman or an owner who gets rid of players and coaches very quickly and almost emotionally gets rid of them quite quickly. And then you've got on the other end of the spectrum Arsenal, who hang around with Arsene Wenger for maybe 3 or 4 more seasons before he left, whatever circumstances it was. And then you've got Emery, who's now didn't have a great season last season, had that really poor result in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
And now you've got them again under pressure again. Do you think maybe Arsenal are at the other end of the spectrum, that they don't want to make these jump flash decisions, they don't want to make a decision based on emotion? Do you think that's probably down to the grassroots and the DNA of the club?
Well, it can be, and I think they are gone through with the a little bit of what Manchester United had faced before, this transition time from Sir Alex Ferguson and now with Arsene, because it's very hard to replace
two such dominant characters that have controlled everything.
Because then you have like one person who stay more than 2 decades in a football club. They breathe the club, they understand everything, they build up something very important for these clubs, and then to have the first season, everyone expect it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
For example, I was expecting this moment for Arsenal, this transition time, to be very hard.
Yeah.
And now the second season of Emery is not working well properly as everyone expect. And he once again under pressure, which can cause a little of confusion in the clubs, the people, a bit of uncertainty. But for me, is a moment that everyone has to work together. Everyone in the club in the same direction, not let's say done their what they think change over the time. If they every time change the plan or change the idea, you go back to the same circle of mistakes. And of course it's hard because people in the past they were used to see them winning games in a little bit not so difficult situation, not so difficult, manage better their games. Now the other clubs are improved a lot.
Yeah, well, look at Leicester.
This is one aspect of the game that has changed, But it's about everyone believing what they are doing and work together day by day. There's not miracle. You don't make miracle football. And as you mentioned about Frank Lampard, I think he got a charisma from everyone. From the player point of view when he played for the club. Now he's back there. And bring for the team a very good football. People are getting into it. He brought some younger players. They are delivering a very good football, which is very important for his start.
Absolutely. Well, everyone was talking about, is he going to have 2 seasons to do it? He can't have a clause in his contract to say he can't get sacked for the first 2 seasons. And in fact, he hasn't needed any of that. He's obviously pretty poor first game, but since then he's been flying. I think, as I said before, it's really hard not to like Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I've had friends who are Spurs fans and Arsenal fans and Man United fans saying, when we're talking about it, it's really hard not to like Chelsea. They are everything that you want your club to be. Bringing in the youth, ex-legend player is the coach, is everything you want, and playing great football as well. And I think probably what the Arsenal fans, sorry to go back to it, but the Arsenal fans compared to ourselves is that, look, we don't make decisions. The board seems to be unwilling to make decisions about stuff. We don't make decisions quickly enough. And then they look at Chelsea, who change their manager very regularly, but throughout that time normally would send clubs into turmoil, and all this change would affect them negatively. They've actually consistently been winning trophies throughout that time. And I don't think even Chelsea fans would want the amount of Chelsea fans would want the amount of coaches and managers that they've had over the last 10 to 15 years. But you can't argue when you're getting all the trophies.
I think the culture of the both clubs are different, you know. Now, if people start to look on this way, and it can be even hard for them to think about, what we don't make decision, or somebody's changed, we are not changed. You have to understand this transitional period is very tough. They have to face this and work hard every day to start to have a good result. This is hard because as they start. Let's go back a little bit, because before the change, people were demanding changing, and then the club made the decision. Change Arsene for the new manager, and Unai came. And at the beginning, it seems like was perfect, the first few games and the first part of the season. But then, when the result didn't get the way the fans expect, people expect, and there is people may start to realize maybe we were right when the demand change. Sometimes I had to be careful. What are you asking for?
Careful what you wish for, right?
Exactly. You have to be careful. And but now is the moment that people cannot get panic because the results still not perfect as everyone expect. Obviously, people also want expect from Arsenal to play a nice game, beautiful football, and sometimes when it does not happen, and there is always a comparison. Now it was the same with Manchester United. It was the same, and they still, I think, find the right balance, in this transitional time. And I think Arsenal may suffer a few years until they get a right balance. But you cannot, let's say, my opinion is, you cannot change every day, your plan.
No.
You have to stick to your ideas, believe in what you plan for, and work hard. And the moment as is not good, as we expect, is a moment that the players look up to themselves and work and hey, come on, hey, we have to do a little bit more. Now, as I'll help you, you help me. Everyone encourage each other.
Is that something that happens in the changing rooms? Like, do you have if there's a bad game, or there's you kind of get to a point where you go, enough's enough, guys. We need to sort this out amongst ourselves. Do you kind of have that conversation?
It's important.
And is it always? And do you rely on other players? Is there a player, so like a Tony Adams, or someone that comes to you and go, right, guys, we're sorting this out now, or do you? So is there someone you look to that does that, or were you one of those people?
Well, we need to have this kind of character. The dressing room is very important. Sometimes the conversation cannot be very nice, but in an honest way, in a very respectful way, it has to be done. The people need to talk about it, about the problems, and demand from the colleague. Because you are a big club, you want to. You don't want to lose a game, play.
No.
It's hard. I believe that for the players now, it's been a nightmare for them. It's very uncomfortable situation because
Granit Xhaka situation where he got booed coming off.
Exactly.
It's an awful situation for anybody.
It's very hard for everyone. Because imagine you are in this situation that you want to do things totally different, and the result does not happen as you expect.
Sorry, just like to say, we're in Gilberto's house in London. His wife just almost smashed the plates, so that's why I started laughing.
We're trying to be serious, but
You're trying to be serious, and she's making salad, playing cymbals with the saucepans.
okay.
It's alright, don't worry.
It's alright, she's trying to help us because afterwards we have something.
Exactly. This food baby amazing.
we won't be too bad, don't worry. So let's go back.
Yeah.
But it's but it's important, this kind of conversation in the dressing room when players not about arguing with somebody, but about having an honest conversation.
It's constructive, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not pulling away. It's a different saying than
what
you're effing shit.
Yeah. What can we do to help each other?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you and you to help me and help the club? You need to get you lose together, you win together.
Exactly.
It's not about one man or one coach, whatever. Everyone has to work in the same direction. And this conversation is always nice. We had a few of these conversations at Arsenal when I was there. Always was positive because some people point out a few problems we have in the kind of position. We work from there. You say, come on, I need more from you. You need more from me. But it's on a positive way.
Yeah.
We cannot see this as I'm accusing you of not doing your job right. It's what I want from you and you want from me is that we can do something else more.
Yeah, because that sort of thing would fester and grow, and then the trust of trusting your teammates to do the role they need to do, which makes you then try and take on their role, try and take on their responsibilities as well, right?
Yeah. Well, this is what you have to do. Everyone take the responsibility and help each other.
Yeah.
If you just I can take my responsibility, but if I'm not willing to help you, it's very hard because we are in the same boat.
Yeah.
If we don't work together, it's going to be a problem for all of us. I think this is, but it's tough, and but I'm sure they can get off this situation. It's just not get panic and work hard. I've seen some comments of the players now, and I'm sure it's been hard to them. Imagining when you not win the games and you want to go out for a restaurant, but you are not comfortable. It's like you are in prison somehow.
Yeah. Well, Gareth Bale does it in Real Madrid. Apparently, he doesn't go for any of the clubs, the team meals and things, and that's put a massive divide with it. Obviously, it doesn't help when he puts a flag out saying Wales, golf, Real Madrid in that order. Doesn't help. Yeah, you have to be careful, but sometimes because people can. You have maybe one idea, maybe he didn't have the bad intention, maybe on his point of view, but the interpretation of the message can vary from one people to another. And I have one opinion, you have yours. Yeah.
And
my opinion's right, but yeah.
And it can be a big problem for this kind of situation.
Yeah. So how often would you do team dinners and things like this? Is it after every home game or every away game? How does it kind of work, or is it?
I had a few, We had a few. It's sometimes it depends, Some players they are more close from from each other.
Yeah.
For example, I have a few guys that I was very close to. Some, not too much, to going out. But we have like team dinner a few times. It was really good,
Yeah. Did you always go to the same place?
No, I don't remember exactly, but we changed a few times.
Yeah.
But for example, with a few of the players, we have done a few times at Edu's house, We've been together for a few restaurants, and it always was good,
Yeah.
Apart from the good time we spent together in the training session and play the games, but outside we try, to make life, good for all of us, because we moved to a different country, maybe don't have family. You have to make, your living somehow, engage with people.
It's something that I've thought about because I've got a family. I've got 2 kids and things. I think if I had a career which I had to move to another country without my children, I find it so hard. And I guess that's one thing we don't really get, and maybe you can give an insights to, is once you you move to the UK, you move working and living in a different country.
Yeah.
How does that affect you? What sort of changes is there? And is there something that's core? So I'm conscious that your wife's just over there.
No, it's all right.
So is there things that are like drastically important? You go, look, I need to regularly go home and see my kids and my wife. Is there what did you do to like sort of settle yourself in London?
Well, I believe that the first impact you have when you arrive in a country is when you don't speak the language. This is very hard. You know, for me it was hard because I could not speak English when I first came, and I have to study. I have to practice, and I have to have lessons to learn the language. But I want to have lessons. I want to learn. And some people come if they don't get into it. You know, this change the mindset. Listen, I start a new life here. I need to learn the languages. For me, is important. The communication. I knew this was very important for me, in spite the fact that in the training session was fine. We could find a way.
The language of football.
Yeah. You know, we found a way to help each other. You know, Edu was very important for me on that time because he helped me a lot. But the guys were really nice, very helpful. But it's very hard because you have to grow up by yourself. You have to learn, encourage yourself to learn, get into the culture. For me, it was really important to get engaged with the English players, you know, such as Martin Keown, Sol Campbell, Ashley Cole, Ray Paulo. Sometimes it was hard to understand him. Sometimes it was very hard, you know. But
it's hard for English people to understand him too.
But you know, such a very nice persons. You know, and those guys, they were really important for me here in England to adapt to the game, understand the culture, understand how they work, you know, in the dressing room towards the foreign players. Very helpful, but they demand a lot. This was very important because they challenge you, and I like that because I want to learn. But this, you know, when you first arrive in the country, you know, the communication can be an issue. But for me, it's how you see this. Because you can see this as a barrier, or you can say, oh, come on, it's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's an excuse or an opportunity. Yeah.
For me, it was always an opportunity, you know, because coming here, not only about play football for me, but about learning things.
How old were you when you came here?
I was 25.
25,
not too young.
Not too old either.
A good age.
Yeah. Nice. So as we're talking about Arsenal, would you say what are the players that they haven't spent much money historically in the last 10 years or so?
Yeah.
They spent some money this season with which do you like? Which of the new crop of players they brought in do you like? And what do you think they need to be buying to start getting back to winning ways? Do they need another Gilberto Silva playing for them? There's two questions there. Let me start again. So, which players, the new players, do you like? Which of the current team and the current squad do you like?
I think the last 2 years they bought a few players, which are good players. They are doing well. And the hardest thing, you know, maybe don't do. People may not pay much attention because as the team didn't get the best results, and sometimes, you know, the individual do not show up very much. But you know, they bought Aubameyang, Lacazette, and they brought Pepe. Yeah. And they are good players up front. You know, Arsenal look very strong, very sharp. They have some other younger players they brought this year. The Brazilian boy Martinelli, yeah. And he seems that he's adapting very well. Well, honestly, I didn't know him play in Brazil, but I had a very good information about him before he come to us. You know, after he came, and I spoke to a few people, they talk about him very highly, and seems that he's adapting quite well, which is very good. And but of course, you know, there are maybe few parts of the team they may not find a way to fix a few problems. One of the position, you know, sometimes people talk about. I observe maybe in the middle may need something to have a more balance there. You know,
for someone like you.
I don't know like me. I don't know.
A defensive midfielder.
Yeah, defensive midfield. You know, to work. You know. Obviously, you know, when I talk about me, people always send me a very nice message regarding my time at Arsenal. Oh, they never replaced you. You know. I feel happy, you know, about it. When people still remember me as an Arsenal player, send me a very, very kind messages. It's always, you know, you feel flattered by that. But on the other hand, when I look for the team, it's hard that you know, it still needs to do some work in regarding this position. Despite the fact they brought good players, you know, they brought.
But were they the right players? It's all very good buying a right player, but if you need a new goalkeeper, there's no point in you buying a striker. You're not fixing the problem, right?
Well, the point is, now is when sometimes you can buy a right player, but if the combination, the setting up of the team, the way they do things, so if something is not working well, it's not gonna have a good effect. You know, you don't have the same result, because it's like a band. You know, you have different people doing different kind of works, but maybe the setting up is not perfect, which is very hard to find. You know, what's the perfect system? How do we play? But if some of this combination is not 100%, you always struggle. Sometimes it's hard, you know, until you find a way, you know, especially now with Unai, he's 1.5 years almost, and I think he knows more about the team now than when he first came last season. Yeah. But it's about to find, you know, the best system for them and stick to it.
What do you think is the best system with them let me say that again with the right words in the right order. What do you think the best system of play for Arsenal would be, bearing in mind what players they have?
Well, let's see. On my time, we played, you know, let's say I don't want to make any comparison, but we have basically 4-4-2. Maybe sometimes can be like the safe way to play, and I've seen the last few years, even though with Arsenal, they change a little bit. And now with Unai, you know, one thing, you know, people say that he has been done a few changes. And
playing out to the back, right, isn't it?
Yeah. I would
doesn't look like it's working at the moment.
No, I would stick with one system. Yeah. If it's 4-4-2, if it's 5 whatever, if it 3-5. You know, something, but just, you know, if I was the manager, I'm not the manager. No. Now it's much easier for me to say, but honestly, I would keep one system and go for it.
Yeah. Just want to point out that the cameraman's eating, so it's time for time out. Cool. So we've just had a quick break in filming. Your wife, Janaina, kindly made us a spot of lunch, and I must say it's pretty much the best omelette I've ever had.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you like.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Look forward to next week.
She learned very well.
Does she? Oh, she learns everything she knows from you.
Yeah, of course.
We see what she says if we turn on next week and you have a black eye. So, before the delicious lunch, we were talking about Pochettino and then sidetracked on to Unai Emery and what was going on with Arsenal. Yeah. So, it's probably a good idea to finish off what we think about what's going on at Spurs. So, Mourinho, new coach, over at your mates at North London. What do you think about him?
Well, after, you know, the big surprise for most of us about Pochettino has been sacked, I guess that Tottenham they must find a good profile, and Mourinho was there, you know, not working to anybody for about a year, something like that, and he got like. His profile speaks to himself, you know. I don't need to talk much about him as a manager. He has done a great job over the past years, and in the Premier League has been very successful. and maybe some people cannot like him. Maybe don't like him very much. But one thing we must say is that he has been successful in his career, and he got the ability to change the situation. And I think it's a good profile for Tottenham. And well, let's see how he's gonna work there to sort out the results. And this is what I think everyone is expecting. How it's going to be live after Pochettino.
Yeah, because I think obviously when he first went to Chelsea, you couldn't hate Chelsea, but it was quite hard not to like Mourinho. He was quite entertaining in his podcast. Speaking of podcasts, this is Gilberto Silva one. He was quite good in his press conferences. He was just really entertaining, and I think he then lost that a little bit when he came back to Chelsea. He was quite a negative sort of influence, and then when he went to Manchester United, he was again, press conferences were quite negative and defensive, and it was such a shame. But I think from what I've seen in the press conferences, he's kind of owning that and saying, look, I've made mistakes, I'm going to make some new ones, but I've made the old ones and I've learnt from them. The mistakes I've made, I'm not be making again. So what do you...
He's a top coach now, above all. Obviously, even the top guys, they make mistake and learn from it. I think this is the most important thing sometimes, to be humble and understand that, accept that you have made that, you learn from it. And but from the interviews we have seen, it changed, and let's see how it's going to work out, with the results and so on. But I'm sure, all the time, a kind of person like him look up to himself and see, listen, this is what I need to learn and improve on myself. I think we always, as a human being, this is what we do normally.
Yeah,
this is what I believe.
The most successful human beings doing that, didn't they?
Yeah, of course. He has been successful. We must say that.
Yeah,
he has done great things in the clubs he worked for, and now there's a lot of expectation on him at Tottenham. And would be interesting to see and follow up what's going to happen in the next follow weeks.
It's interesting to say about the change stuff. I think he's a winner, and he just wants to win, and he'll do anything to win. And if that means tweaking the press a little bit, saying that I did some problems before, I think he's very good at manipulating the press, which you could argue that's kind of what he's doing. But I also think that he probably has learned a bit, and he just wants to win. I don't think he gives a shit about anything else. He just wants to win. And I think if he has to kind of take ownership of that, change his way slightly. They won obviously 3-2 at the weekend, went up 3-0 up, but then the old Spurs came back in and let 2 in. They started to wobble a little bit.
No, but it was important for him to start with the victory, despite the fact, maybe it was not perfect, but it was important for him and also for the team to win the game. And start with the victory is always important for a manager, on his first game. And from now on, he will get to know the players better, and after this first match. And but I would be interested to see how it's going to work.
Yeah, because I think whenever he goes, he seems to kind of take on either the fan favourite or the captain or the most strongest person in the dressing room. When he came back to when he was at Real Madrid, he got rid of Iker Casillas, put him on the bench and tried to get him out on loan, or sold him. I don't think she sold him in the end. But he was obviously the captain for years and had been playing for Real Madrid most of his life. He then came back to Chelsea and basically benched Juan Mata, who had been Chelsea's player of the season 2 years in a row. And then he went to Manchester United, and Rooney went, and I think there was a couple of other players that he wasn't too happy with. He seems to kind of take on the most important person in the dressing room and kind of show there is authority by getting rid of that person. It's quite an interesting way of doing things.
Well, let's see how it's going to work out, at Tottenham now. They have some players there important for the team. They need them. I think
Dele Alli looked like a different player. Dele Alli looked like a completely different player, which is normally rare under creative players.
You have Dele Alli, you have Kane as well. Is important players for them, and but it's important to work out with them to get the best out of the players. As he said, he has learned from the mistake he had in the past, and maybe he is gonna change in terms of it as well, because he had a different squad from the previous one, and he has to find a way to work out with those players and get the best out of them to produce good results. Otherwise, it's going to be hard this time as well.
Yeah, nice. Well, the other thing that we're going to talk about was Copa Libertadores. Is that correct
this is
pronunciation?
Good. Exactly. Oh, you are doing well. Copa Libertadores.
I've been practicing while we're having lunch.
Very good.
So I think hardcore football fans know what it is.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit more about where the origination came from, what it actually is, and how important it is to the different states of South America.
Well, the Copa Libertadores, it's like the Champions League for South American people, basically. And I have to go through a little bit more in terms of the history, but I need to make more research to give how it starts and so on. But despite this, it's such as important competition for us. And I was fortunate enough, to play. I didn't play much because I left Brazil, and when I left Brazil back in 2002, I played only once this competition with Atlético Mineiro. Then I went back to Atlético Mineiro back in 2013, and fortunately we won the competition. It was, let's say, a good time to come back.
That one quiet. I didn't know that one.
Not bad. But it means a lot because it allows you to play the FIFA tournament at the end of the year against one, if you get to the knockout stage, against
the Club World Cup.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you have a chance to play against an European club,
nice.
And
so is it a knockout or league?
Yeah, it's a knockout.
Okay.
Have you arrive there and play like a semi-final game, and then the final one, the expected one. But unfortunately, we didn't win the game. This was a big blow for us. And
sorry I brought it up.
was very disappointed. And we lost to Raja Casablanca. And at the end of the day, you have to accept that when you don't win this game.
Yeah, we won the World Cup, so
yeah, it's a frustration. But it's still there, a big frustration, because you go there to these club world tournaments with full of expectation on our face. On that time, Bayern Munich, you prepare your mind to be there, and when you lose, wow, my God, it's a big disappointment.
So when you have these losses, like you said in the final couple of Libertadores, how often do you think about things like that? Do you think about it every day? Or is it, obviously once it's happened it does, but is it with time for us out, or do you still think about the chance you missed against Man United, or the penalty you missed here, or the chance? Is it something that footballers think about a lot?
Of course. When you don't achieve the result you expect, it's always hard, it's frustrating. And because we have done a big effort to be there. We won the Copa Libertadores first. We qualified the year before, and then we won the competition, and it was amazing the way we won the competition. Full of emotion in every knockout stage. We went to play away, lost the game very badly, like 2-0, for example, and then we have to change the situation at home. In the home game, and we did that. Even for the final game, we lost the first game 2-0 against Olimpia of Uruguay, and at home we won and beat them on penalty. And it's a big effort you have to do to get there. And once you were there, not achieved, at least be in the final, because if we have been beaten by Bayern Munich, you feel, let's say, okay, I played final, but it didn't happen with us. It's like it's a lot of disappointment.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think about that, of course. Maybe you always think about maybe if you have played, but if you don't do the job the right way from the start on, you are going to end up complaining about if something happened.
Yeah. So this year, Who was it between? What was the score? Did anything amazing happen?
For
The one just gone. Sorry. So this season, who was the Copa Libertadores against the final? Who's it was? I mean, now you got me doing it. So the final this year was Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay.
That was very interesting. Now I was working this game, Flamengo against River Plate from Argentina, and I was interested because you leave the rivalry again, Brazil and Argentina. And despite the fact it was two clubs, football clubs, one from Brazil and another one from Argentina, but the rivalry is there. It's like you have a yellow shirt for Brazil, the blue and white for Argentina, and the game was not the best of Flamengo because they have been playing a beautiful football in Brazil at the moment. I think the best team, they are the best team, and they were champion one day after the Copa Libertadores,
right?
Because Grêmio beat Palmeiras 2-1, and they became champion without playing the next game.
Yeah.
And they didn't play a good game, and they didn't create many chances in the first half. River Plate scored first and had the best chance. And in the second half, they made a few changes. It may work out. When Diego came on, made, in my opinion, a huge difference in the team because he gets the ball from the back, to the middle, and try to move forward and pass the guys up front, provide them, get the ball from the back, and play, as they should have done in the first half because they didn't create many chances up front.
Okay.
And they have important players up front, like Bruno Henrique, Gabriel Barbosa, Everton, Ribeiro, and the Arrascaeta. Those four guys, they have done a great job this season. But unfortunately, their first half, my opinion, was very poor. The second half they became better, but didn't create many chances until the last 5 minutes.
That's when I started watching it.
Exactly. You
It's
arrived at the right time.
Yeah.
When the show starts, then they score. The goal from a beautiful, moment from Bruno Henrique. On his style, he broke the line and passed 1 and 2 players and provided a very good pass to Arrascaeta that crossed the ball, and Gabriel Barbosa equalized the game. And this time, when you saw the River players' reaction, it seems like
wow. Yeah. Well, they were all over them.
They didn't expect it.
For about 10 or 15 minutes, they were all over them, weren't they?
Exactly.
That's why I thought, because I was watching it, and I had a couple of drinks before, and I was going, couldn't quite get it. This team was attacking, and they were losing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I turned it off.
But River Plate, they put Flamengo on the pressure because every time when they try to build up their game from the back, they just press with 4 players. Didn't give them, chance to build up their game, and this what caused the problem for the major part of the game. And also, especially for the first half, they played a lot from the flanks, exploring Felipe Luis and Rafinha's back. And this is what they build up their game basically for most of the the first half. And I think for the halftime, Jorge Jesus correct the system. They made a few changes to work out, but we could see, when they scored the first goal, the reaction. I think the players, they start to believe in themselves. They could, let's say, at least go for a penalty. Whatever, or extra time, whatever. I don't know if they have the extra time. I just messed up. I'm sorry for that, but and then and they could believe that at least they would have a chance. But then out from nothing, Diego just passed a long ball to Gabriel Barbosa, and he disputed the ball with the 2 center backs and won it. He holds the guy and kick from outside box.
It's like Shearer goal. It's like an Alan Shearer.
It was like I think 2-3 minutes later,
Well,
after they scored the first goal, and then was the end, you know.
yeah. Then what happened?
Exactly. Was something that if you look the first half, you could not expect that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, they got, as I told you, they got players up front that can make a difference. And
So do
they
you think?
did.
So do you think the coaching style happened? They changed the tactics, or do you think was it a number of little things that happened,
Yeah,
or one major thing?
They have a few changes. They played a little bit, you know, they changed a little things in the game, but they didn't put so much pressure still until the last 10 minutes. They start to create. They have just a few, but not many chances before this, you know, in the second half. But the last 10 minutes, you know, it's like they throw out themselves. Okay, we have nothing to lose now, and until they create this great moment from the first goal. You know, I think it was 5 minutes to go to the end of the match.
Yeah.
3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
For the first, and then 2 minutes later, the second. You know, is something that we don't really expect.
No, it's unbelievable. And didn't Barbosa get sent off?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that bit. What did he do to get sent off?
Yesterday, in the game, they will talk about that because he scored a goal, you know, in the moment that I think Bruno Henrique was fouled near the corner. You know, not as I think the guy was fouled him or something like that, and hit his back while he was on the floor and got sent off. Then I just saw the referee came on him and gave him a red card, but the guys told on from TV, you know, from the stadium somehow, you know, seems like he laughed, I think, sarcastically from
clapping,
something like that, you know. He make some clap for the referee, but it seems kind of sarcastically. It's what they told, but I didn't know exactly what went wrong for him, you know, in this situation. Was quite strange.
It's unbelievable. He had a quiet 5 minutes, scored 2 goals and sent off.
You know, it's 5 minutes that everything happened to him, you know. He became the hero, and it could be the devil at the same time. But luckily, they won, you know, was the last few seconds. And then after this, the referee had the final whistle.
Nice. Is that the one? Was the final played in Madrid last year?
What?
Was the final played in Madrid last year? I think, didn't they have, because there was...
Yes, there was, was the two Argentina clubs, no, Boca Juniors and
River Plate.
And River Plate, sorry. Yeah, River Plate has been very successful in the last few years, and their manager, Gallardo, has done a great job, you know, and been very successful. He's been appointed one of the most successful manager in the club history. It's amazing record. Yeah. It's great.
Nice.
It's great.
Cool. Yes, I thought of a question when we were talking about Barbosa getting sent off. Have you ever been sent off?
Me?
Have you ever had a red card?
Yes, I did. Not
you don't have to look so happy with yourself.
Well, I don't know how many times I've been sent off. I think about 3 or 4 times.
So just wanted to ask you.
I think the last time I've been sent off was play for Arsenal against Blackburn.
Okay. What did you do?
Well, it was very strange, you know. The game has just started. I think 5 minutes later, I got sent off. You know, there was a situation. I got a foul from Robbie Savage.
Yeah, Robbie Savage.
You know, and then I was on the floor. Just was trying to get off, and Sunday I received a knock to my back. You know, I was trying to get up, and I was just about the instinct. You know, I just lift my leg, and he hit my leg. You know, while I was on air. And fall down. Fuck, that's crazy. Sorry.
That's all right.
But I was crazy, you know, and the referee just gave me the red, you know, straight red.
Nice. So like Beckham against Argentina, he stuck his leg out.
You know, I got the knock on my back, and then because of this reaction, you give me the red card. So I was very frustrated because of that, you know, and
I was going to say, how does it make you feel? So do you think that Robbie, obviously intentionally, as if I know him, Robbie Savage, intentionally did that to get you sent off? And so do you go, oh, it's his fault? Do you go, do you know what, that was my fault for allowing him myself to be put in that position?
Well, of course I made a mistake of reaction, but it's about the moment, and when you get this kind of reaction, because I was on the floor trying to get off, and suddenly somebody kick you from the back, and then I had this reaction. Of course, I felt frustration for that because I did react. And I didn't want to check later on TV if he did on purpose.
Mention in the comment below if you think it was a red card or not.
Honestly, I didn't want to check if it was on purpose or not. But at the end of the day, you got the red card, and luckily we won that game. I think it was 2-0.
Was that at Highbury or Emirates?
No, at Blackburn.
At Ewood Park.
Always was very hard to play there. I was very frustrated, very angry with myself to allow this to happen. And those who let the guys down,
I was going to say, how does it make you feel? So the emotions must be changed. So as you're walking off the pitch, you're obviously getting abuse from the home team fans.
No, listen. After the referee's decision, you can't change his mind.
No.
You have to accept that you made a mistake somehow. And and I went inside after 5 minutes. I just called my wife, and she was, "What's wrong?
Can you come pick me up?"
The game just started, No, I got sent off.
Yeah.
And she was thought that I was injured or something like that. I said, no, just got sent off. Luckily, we won the game.
Nice.
But it's very frustrating.
Yeah. So do you sit there and wait for the teammates to come in? Would they sort of have a go, what's wrong with you? Or is it more the opposite, where you apologise and go, look, I'm sorry guys to let you down? Because I think we obviously, on TV, we see if your team's playing and one of your players gets sent off, you go, oh, come on, mate. Or if it's one of the opposition, you kind of go, you dirty so-and-so. What happens after you've been sent off? I think we'd all like to know.
Well, I was very, very disappointed.
And how much is the fine? How much is the fine for a red card?
I didn't have any.
No?
No, I didn't.
Oh, mate, you got back. You just put yourself in trouble.
No, because I think because of good behavior, on the daily basis, I was okay. I didn't have this problem. But I felt bad, of course, after 5 minutes. Maybe if it was the end of the game or for some situation. Or maybe because I had kicked him properly. Maybe
exactly.
I would be okay. I did a bad mistake. I kicked him, or whatever. But after 5 minutes being sent off, you let your teammates down. But the good thing, that happened this day, because we won the game. Otherwise, I would be, oh my God. That's terrible.
Yeah, I suppose if you'd lost the game because Robbie Savage had scored a hat-trick, then you would have felt really On to the next bit of the show. This bit is going to be called Gibber versus Chase. Each week we're going to be predicting the scores for the following weekend's games. 2 points if you get the exact result, and 1 point if you just get the winning team. So every week the loser will have to do a dare or a forfeit, which we'll spend the week negotiating on what it is going to be. And then we'll also, at the end of the season, the winner will be able to nominate a charity that we'll be donating £500 to. So I think it's all for a good cause. So without further ado, first game, Newcastle versus Man City. What have you got?
I put 3-1 to Manchester City.
Have you been copying my results? You can't just copy everything I've got written down here. Right, all right. So I've got 3-1 as well. I've got 3-1 as well, yeah.
Wow, my
God. I'm going to start doing
this one. I'll put it in here.
I'm going to go first this time. Norwich versus Arsenal. 2-1 to Norwich.
2-1 Arsenal.
See.
Not be different, yeah?
You need to change your social media passwords if you lose this week. Next week, Leicester versus Everton. You go first.
2-0 Leicester.
I've got 3-0 Leicester. Chelsea West Ham.
You?
I've got 3-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea.
And Liverpool versus Brighton.
3-0 Liverpool.
I've got 4-0 Liverpool.
This
is it for
good
the
luck. First week.
keep an eye on Gilberto's Twitter in case he loses. So the next bit will normally be fans' comments, but obviously it's the first show, so we have no fans' comments or questions to go through. But feel free to send Gilberto a tweet. What's your Twitter handle?
Gilberto Silva.
Is that
Pretty easy.
Gilberto Silva is the handle.
It's not difficult.
There you go.
You can find my nice face there.
Yeah, some handsome bloke from about 20 years ago. A photo from 20 years ago. So add in the questions and I'll put them through to him. Tweet him, and that's the end of the first show, I think. So it's been a bit of a laugh. Hopefully we haven't talked too much nonsense. Thanks to your wife again for lovely lunch.
That's great.
You probably heard in the background while we were filming a little bit.
Little noise. That's alright.
It's
behaved quite well.
It's worth it for the best omelette I've ever had. Nice.
Well, hope you guys enjoy. This was our first. We really enjoy. Have some fun.
Yeah, it was good fun.
See you soon.
See you next week.
Bye.